Hello, welcome. Luke Malevich here with Trombone World, and in today's video we're going to talk about making your first sounds on the trombone. Now, as always, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. And please share the video with anybody that you think is going to find it helpful. Now, this is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time and finally got a chance to do it. Now, even though this video is entitled First Sounds on the Instrument, you're going to find it helpful even if you've been playing for a little while, a couple months, even a few years. A lot of these techniques I use with all of my students from beginners all the way through high school as kind of a reminder how to make an open and relaxed sound. And that's exactly why I start with all my beginners and young trombonists with the same techniques to make sure that they have the best start possible. Now, before you watch this video, particularly if you're a beginner, make sure that you watch my first two videos. The first one dealing with how to put the instrument together, and the second one with correct posture and holding the instrument, just to make sure that you have the right start before we go ahead and try to make our first sounds. I'm going to put a link to both of those videos in the description below, so make sure you check them out. Now, the number one thing that I want you to remember throughout this entire video is that the instrument requires air to move through it in order to create sound. So that everything that we do is going to be based on that one principle, that we are going to be able to move air through the instrument, and we're not going to be doing anything to restrict or inhibit the airflow. So everything is going to be dealing with moving the air. Now let's talk about how to set up our embouchure. And our embouchure is all these muscles here that we're going to be using to play. Let's talk about how to set up our embouchure in order to be able to create sound on the instrument. Now, the easiest way to do that is to think of the beginning of the word move, because we're going to be moving air. And that's simply moo. You can think of a cow mooing, which is silly, but it works. And it looks like this, moo. Very simple. You can see what happens to my corners, but more importantly, you can see what happens right in the center here, where I'm creating a little bit of a space. Let me do that for you one more time. Moo. Now, if I do it silently, you can see what happens. You can also think about this in two parts. You can think of the letter M. Now, it's going to be a nice and relaxed M. I'm not bringing everything tightly. It's not like this. It's going to be nice and relaxed. And then oo. M, oo, which is essentially the same thing as moo. And you can feel free to pause the video at any time and practice these things one by one to make sure that you're getting everything correctly before moving on. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move air through that open space. And it's going to sound like this. Let me do that for you one more time. If you can hear this, the air creates an ooh effect. If you hear something like this, more of a hiss, it means that your tongue is more than likely too high inside your mouth. It's got to be nice and low. Again, like you're saying ooh. You can go ahead and pause the video if you want to practice that a couple times. I'm going to do it one more time for you. Great. Now, the second step, what we're going to do is add our tongue. Now, our tongue is going to act the same way as if it's saying the word to. Right? It's going to be saying the word to without saying it, which again sounds like this. And again, be careful. If you hear something close to a hiss, it means that your tongue is staying too close for too long. It's going to be a nice ooh. Your tongue's going to relax and stay nice and low. And all that it's doing is creating a little bit of a faster moving airstream right at the beginning, so that the air starts a little bit quicker. I'm going to do it one more time. Now that we learned how to move our air through an open space, let's bring up the mouthpiece. You're going to simply hold it just like this with 3 fingers. You can use more. Be careful not to grab it tightly like that. Going to hold it nice and gently. You're going to start the same exercise and then simply bring the mouthpiece to your lips and keep exhaling through the mouthpiece. It's going to look like this. I'll do it one more time and turn sideways so you can see exactly what it looks like. I'll do it one more time. And pay attention to where I'm placing the mouthpiece. More than likely, you're going to put it where it feels comfortable, which is exactly what you want to do. You might have more of your top lip in the mouthpiece, but generally the bottom here is going to be somewhere towards the top of your bottom lip here. You can go ahead and pause the video and try it a couple times if you'd like. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the mouthpiece into our trombone. We're going to bring up the instrument, and we're going to try the exact same exercise with the instrument. Now, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to get just air coming out, which will sound like this, or you might get a sound, which will sound like this. Now, either one is completely okay. If you end up getting just air like I did the first time, and it happens more than once, what you can simply do is once you have the trombone up and just air, you can add a little bit more air, or move a little bit more air, and see if you can get the note to start. And that could look something like this. You heard that? I added just a little bit of air to get my lips to start vibrating and to create that sound. Now, what you might notice when you bring the mouthpiece and the instrument to your lips is that your cheeks might start to puff out like this. And if it does happen for you, a simple exercise you can do is just to take a straw and simply put it in a glass of water and blow bubbles. It'll draw your attention to your corners of your mouth and help you remove any puffing of the cheeks that you may experience. And that's about it. That's the simplest and easiest way to get started making your first sounds on the instrument. Now, please feel free to do these exercises starting with the exhale, then the mouthpiece, then the entire instrument. Once you get comfortable holding the notes a little bit longer and a little bit longer, you can go ahead and just start the note after placing the instrument on your embouchure like this. And always remember, the number one thing in this lesson is that air needs to be able to move freely from your lungs all the way through the instrument, which always means that we're going to be creating a little bit of a space here in order to let the air pass through. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Have fun practicing, have fun creating sounds on the instrument, and we'll be back next time.